we all understand the type of climate that we're dealing with. We're dealing with multiple offer situations.
I'd love to know sort of what's your why? What makes you tick? Why are you so successful?
Have a dialogue with your lawyer. Have a dialogue with your agent.
Both sort of passionate about sort of what we do.
Again, vet your agent to make sure that they're experienced and they're local. I like that idea.
No excuse to miss it on Saturdays from 8 to 9.
That's right.
WBZ.
And now, the show that gives you the latest and most relevant housing market news. Real Estate Radio Boston with financial expert Rick Scherer and legal professional Ali Alavi.
Rick, how are we doing on rates, and what advice do you have for the listeners this week?
It's funny. Every time I go through my pipeline and I call my clients and say, hey, rates are great. Let's get you refinanced before they really start heading north. And the next day, rates tip up. So they're starting to creep up a little bit. And we've talked a couple months, that rates are coming down. They're down. They're the lowest. Now it's time to do it. Well, now we're starting to see rates tick up the other way. So,
are you seeing clients panicking? Because we tell them about the fact that the rates are low and they may be going up. Are you seeing them panic and go, oh my God, lock my rate now, and should I refinance now? Or
oh yeah, no, absolutely. And it's I talked to 10 clients one day and say, here are your rates, and they go, let me think about it for a day, and they call you the next day and you're like, well, the rate's gone. It's they give me an eighth higher, and then they get So what I would say to everybody out there is, if the rate is good and you're saving money and you're not having any costs to do so, you're doing a no points, no closing cost loan, just pull the trigger. Pull the trigger. There's nothing really to think about. We've got some Fanny Mae is sort of coming out with some new guidelines all around people that have had foreclosures, short sales, bankruptcies in the past. Yep. And I think what a lot of people understand is they, even though if their credit is still good, there's still time frames that maybe they have to wait.
Absolutely, and that's been a big thing that we're seeing right now, especially with the fact of people that did come off their hard times. We had a lot of short sales, foreclosures, and people are concerned with the fact. So if we educate them and let them know and get their scores up even to a 700 or 800 score, they still may not qualify due to a time frame that they need to recover from and show on the credit reports themselves.
Kenny, how long does it usually take? Let's assume an individual has gone through a foreclosure or a short sale. How long before their credit fully recovers?
Well, when you say fully recover, again, are you talking the score or for them to allow to do something? I mean,
I'm talking about the actual score.
The actual number, again, we see the results within 30 to 45 days, and sometimes within 90 days, they could be back up to a 700 score. So score-wise, they could qualify for a lot of things. However...
But that's not, you need to assist in some of that stuff. Someone that files for bankruptcy is not going to see it in 45 or 60 days their credit score go higher.
Actually, they will. And the reason why is because a credit score, again, is based on those 30, 60, 90-day late. So if a person goes through bankruptcy and they stop paying those payments on those credit accounts, those are impacting their scores, the 10 points every 30-day late, 20 points every 60, nothing for the 90. A lot of those 10 and 20 points add up very fast. So you can see a person go from a 400 score to a mid-sixes, literally, within that 45 to 60-day time frame, and we've seen it. The problem is even though we help them increase their score and help them build from it, they still have the time frame that they need to wait to qualify for a next major purchase, whether it's a home mortgage or loan.
We've got the top 11 myths right now in credit, and we want you to bust those for us. And now I have a feeling the way that we all converse, we'll probably not get to all 11.
So as far as the myths are concerned, now one of the things that I've heard is that if you are employing a credit counselor, that's going to destroy your credit score.
It'd be kind of like saying if I had a good friend as an attorney, I'd never have to go to jail or get cited for speeding tickets or violations. Credit counseling is broad. There's been things that if you're working with a debt consolidation company and it shows up on your credit report that it can hurt your credit. But if you're, going to someone who's educating you and helping you with your credit, making it better, that can't hurt your score. It can only help it, depending on obviously of what they're doing to help you through this. So I think education is the big part.
So let's be clear, Kenny, you're not a debt consolidator.
Correct. We are not.
You just educate and help people remove false things from their credit report and things that are being reported incorrectly.
That's correct.
Great.
All right, I have a lot of debt, and I decide that I'm going to pay off all my debt, and that's going to impact my credit score in a positive way.
It's definitely going to impact your credit score. However, it may not be in a positive way.
He's such a diplomat, isn't he?
Segments before, we've talked about if you pay off a loan or a full credit card and you close your account, you are now stopping the month's revolving history, which will then impact your score negatively. However, if you pay your debt on active accounts less than that 30% and keep it at 30% or less and keep it active, your scores will go up.
The rental prices are so high now. So a lot of people, 2 bedrooms can go up to $2,000 or more.
Right.
And they're saying, well, why don't I just buy a home or a condo instead? And that's why construction is just continuing all around the Route 99 Broadway area from Somerville to Everett. They had stopped for a couple of years, and now it's all over the place again. And it's a good feeling as a real estate agent because you know that there's a lot new people moving into the area, and it's great for me.
Right.
No, it is. And it's interesting because you talk about infrastructure. Earlier, during the break, you were talking about the fact that Chelsea is booming.
Yes.
And we're seeing senior citizen housing. We're seeing a high rate of construction over there. And yeah, I know that Bobby Quinn and Joe DeGangi talk about the workforce towns, but I think the climate is changing in these workforce towns. The workforce towns, just for the listeners to understand, is individuals that are supporting the service business in the city can't afford to live in the city.
Right.
And so they're forced to move out of the city. And of course, the commuter rail that paths back into the city needs to be convenient enough and quick enough and affordable enough for them to be able to get back in. But I think we're seeing the climate's changing. Don't you agree, Carla?
Yes, absolutely. No, yes. We have a lot of people who don't want to take 2 hours to commute into Boston. They want to now live closer to Boston. The same way with South Boston, with everything that's happened there. The same thing is happening in Charlestown.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, you had things getting so crazy in South Boston. Now you get into Dorchester. You get into it's forget about it. I mean, I just closed on a $500,000 condo in Dorchester the other day.
Yeah, that's normal.
It's and 5 years ago that would be unheard of.
Right.
So you're starting to get priced out. You get priced out of the city, and then you go to South Boston, Charlestown, and some of the communities west, and you got to keep going out, and that's sort of what's happening.
Well, the one of the main reasons too is because a lot of these major companies that were in the suburbs now are moving into the city, like Biogen, which moved into Cambridge and has brought a huge amount of workforce there, and a lot of the people that work there want to live near there who can't afford Cambridge, let's say.
Right.
So they're like, what's next? Somerville, Everett, Malden, Revere. So as a real estate agent, I've really enjoyed it. It's great to fulfill people's dreams, at the same time help people that have lived in those areas for so long get their great retirement money.
Right.